everyone, and welcome back to Silverstone for the second time this week for the Division 2 race of round 2 of the South African simGP series, our 2018.2 championship season. And after an exciting race, saw Leslie Oliphant take a dominant victory in the Division 1 race on Monday evening. And we now got qualifying underway for this Division 2 race, of course. And it is Jonathan Paul, who's on a flying lap at the moment. We see Marius Meyer provisionally on pole position with a 42.007. John McKay displaces him though for provisional pole with a 41.736. So it's all kicking off here at Silverstone. Carl Becerra now with a 44.2, pass up into third position. And let's see what JP Paul can produce here. A slight error there, but he's 6 seconds up in his delta. I think he had a big error last time around. And let's see what you can do now. Big shout out to our YouTube live viewers. Welcome everybody. Louis Bashir, Ronco, Hugo, Wesley in our YouTube live stands this evening. Stephen Sparks now with a 47.415 in Class B this evening. Got a second class, that is the Lotus Exus 125, which has been somewhat detuned to form a second class this evening. And we've got 3 of those cars on track this evening, making up from the Division 1 drivers on Monday evening. They want to race this evening as well. And tires actually looking pretty quick here on Silverstone. Sort of the 4th, 5th and 6th fastest time in the final practice. As you see, Marius Meyer now up into provisional pole position, but JP Paul displays him and goes fastest with a 41.434. So very close here. Look how close it is. Wow, 0.3 of a second separating the top 3. White Avis now, real world South African national supercross champion, and he is in 6th position at the moment, and looking for a 1/10 of a second. And this could give him that 5th position from Ryan Hill with a 44.594. So Avis, they're pushing like crazy now. Oh, and he's lost it as I say that. And that tends to happen when I'm commentating on people, unfortunately. I see Marius May now leaving for another quick lap. Peter Wenzel now pops up into 5th position. And, Peter Wenzel leading a new team at Sim Race South Africa. I think it's CWN Racing. Currently got 5 drivers, new drivers who have joined the championship suddenly. So fantastic to see a new team join, and with so many drivers so quickly. So a great project going here by Peter Wenzel. We look forward to seeing how their team improves as we progress through the season. So just under 8 minutes remaining in the session. Jonathan Paul, JP Paul, I beg your pardon, is on provisional pole still. And we can expect those times to even get closer as we near the end of the session. Peter Wenzel with the DRS flap wide open. Of course, running proper DRS rules here in the GP series, and we've got a special app that we're using to take note of who uses the DRS illegally. So keeping things legit at Sim Race South Africa. And if the drivers do use the DRS at the wrong time, they will be awarded a drive-through penalty. We saw that happening on Monday evening quite often. And watch Yanni Boyson now in the zooming extremely fast entry, currently in provisional 4th position. Triple one car looking pretty good, almost 3/10 up on his best delta. Steven Sparks now pops into 5th position overall. Fastest in class is Steven Sparks in the Lotus Exos Class B. 43.620. The Boyson has also joined their hunt for pole position. Just 4/10 off that pole position. Just 4/10 separating the top 4, of course. And Boyson now 2/10 up. What he can do? 3/10 up. How far will he go up the order? That is the question. He pops up into 3rd with a 41.603, just under 2/10 of a second behind provisional pole position man JP Paul. So now we've got Rob McCall on provisional pole position, a brand new driver to SimRace South Africa. He literally signed up about an hour ago, and I've been frantically helping him get organized for this race. And Robert McCall currently doing a fine job with the 41.210, and he's finally got all his complicated DRS apps in place that we require here. That's in the GP series, and wow, what a debut it is for him, the 41.2. And I tell you what, it's actually quite a decent time. They would have done well in the Division 1 qualifying session as well. And Yanni Boyson still in 4th position. Yeah, and we welcome one of our new sponsors, Pure O2, into the fold as well. Basically oxygen in a bottle. And you can read all about it on their website at pureO2.co.za. You can find out all about them. And great to have them on board at SimRace South Africa. And of course, a big thank you to our other partners, SimTech Simulator Equipment and G4 Sim Simulator Equipment. Helping SimRace South Africa develop sim racing as a major esport in South Africa, of course. That is our ultimate goal. And JP Paul still in 2nd position, needs 0.2 of a second to beat McCall for pole position. We've got Morris May still in the pits in 3rd position. Looks like he's not going to go out again, so he's called it Yanni Boyson now. 5/10 up in his bed. This is going to give him pole position. Janu Boysen goes to the front. Wow, what a lap there by the zooming extremely fast driver. And his teammate John McKay down in 5th position. Let's see if he can also improve to get to the front. But one of the best looking cars in the championship is this extremely fast livery. And Robert Nicole's now up a 10th of a second. So this is a frantic battle to the end. Who's going to get it at the death? That's the question. Oh, Rob McCall up half a second now. He's going to dip into the 40s, I think. Could be mid 40-second lap time here. So things are turning up the heat pretty quickly here in this qualifying session. We've got 45 seconds remaining before we go into overtime. So things are turning up the heat pretty. McCall still half a second up now. Let's go on board with Rob McCall as he approaches Stowe corner down the hanging straight. He's got a bit of traffic up ahead of him, but shouldn't play too much of a part in his lap time. Up 0.6 of a second now. This is his pole position now. If he can just nail these 2 corners, approaching a Class B car. One of the Lotus Exits, one of 3 cars in this race. 0.8 of a second for McCall. He's going to destroy Boysen's lap time. He goes pole position and celebrating already pretty dangerously as well. And no one else is out any longer. Stephen Sparks still out in the Class B Lotus Exits. Looking to improve somewhat. Let's see if he can get to the end. But none of the other front runners out for the moment. So it is pole position for Rob McCall. I think we can safely say. So incredible performance by the driver on debut. And he's got a good 9/10 of a second on Boysen in 2nd position. So as we conclude that qualifying session, we're going to have a short break. Don't go away. Welcome back to Silverstone for the Division 2 of Round 2 of the 2018.2 South African simGP Series. We're 20 seconds away from the start of the formation lap, where Robert McCall will lead the field around the first lap before we speed up to race pace from the second last corner of the track and start racing from lap 2. And I think we're expecting an exciting race, and a race that I wasn't expecting much from, but from looking at the times, it's going to be pretty interesting as we progress. So make sure I'm off the server for the moment as we watch Ryan Hill leaving the grid in the Arco Racing entry, the number 85 car, and he'll be looking for a good result here. We've got someone off on the left corner. What's happened there? One of the Class B Lotus Exodus, I think, has decided to start from the back of the field, and fair enough. So we've got the three Lotuses at the back. So perhaps those three drivers deciding to race together. So fair enough. And those three drivers, actually three of the Division 1 drivers from Monday evening, we've decided to let them want to race on Monday evening, this evening as well. But let's get on with the Division 2 drivers this evening. Rob McCall starting for pole position on debut, signed up for the league an hour ago, and what a performance. Janu Boysen will start from second position for ZDF Racing. JP Paul from third. Expect big things from him this evening. Morris May in fourth for Haven Racing. His teammate Morris May his teammate Michael Main, I beg your pardon, not racing this evening, unfortunately. John McKay will start from fifth, so it's second and fifth position for the two ZDF cars. And then we've got Wyatt Avis in sixth position. Carl Besednert will start from seventh. Peter Venthal eighth. Zander Klingen, good performance from him. He will start from ninth position. And then Ryan Hill will complete the top 10 for Arco Racing. As we watch the drivers go through Maggots, Becks and Chapel. And breathtaking corners these are, especially in these cars. Chad Cook this evening for SH Racing will start from 11th. Louis Annandale also on debut this evening. Start from 12th position. Jason van Jaarsveld on debut in the GP Series 2. 13th position for him. And then Robert Walker in the Black Widow, number 130, will start from 14th. But let's have a look at our race leader. He is approaching the speed up point to get this race underway. And he can speed up from now, and off he goes. Looks to be a good start from him. He's a bit delayed. He can actually get going already. But anyways, does have to hold up the field. And off we go. So a confusing start there. But anyway, the race has started. And Rob McCall gets things going. And immediately, Boysen under attack from JP Paul around the outside. What a move there by the Black Widow driver. He wants to get on with this now. He sets his sights on race leader Robert McCall. And Boysen is trying to fight back now. And here comes Morris Mayer, 2 in 4th position. Avis has put a move on McKay. McKay's had a half spin, I think. It looks like what's happened there. He'll also up to 7th position. And we've got some drivers using DRS already. That's not allowed until lap 3. So penalties will be coming to those drivers, unfortunately. Let's see how that affects things later on. JP Paul in second, of course. Boysen, Mayer, Avis, followed by McKay, Hill, Besadenost, Bensel. We've got Edzard van Baalen's put a move on Zander Klingen. That's for 17th position. So changes here all the way up and down the field. But McCall is disappearing with this already. He's got a 2-second lead on JP Paul. And Robert McCall also using DRS when he shouldn't be using it, so you'll get a penalty for that, unfortunately. So yes, plenty of drivers need to still understand how DRS works, unfortunately, but that's how it's going. But we'll leave the DRS infringements to after the race. so we can enjoy the racing this evening. Steven Sparks in the Class B Lotus Exodus. He's chasing Holden-Jones, who's currently leading the class ahead of Quake Claessens. So those three cars still very close together. As Wenzel puts a move on Besadenot, those two teammates swapping position, it looks like. And then we've got Meyer, who's put a move on Boyson for third position. McCall is running away with it this evening. 5 seconds ahead of Paul. I'm going to try and send Rob a message quickly. Unfortunately, the product of Robert McCall joining an hour ago, so it's a bit of a miscommunication. He's going to get a massive penalty for that, unfortunately, but that's how it goes sometimes. So JP Paul now training in second position, and perhaps he'll be aware of those illegal DRS uses by McCall. And oh, he's made a mistake then. Through goes Major, second position. Look at that. Great racing, great opportunistic move there by May. Saw that JP Paul made that error and just to put it up the inside. Holden-Jones now. And Claessens are battling out in Class B for the lead, of course. So these three very close together, and they're trying to chase down Louis Annandale in the Class A car, of course. And look how much quicker that Lotus Exos is through Chapel. Oh, and as Claessens puts a move on him, can Annandale use the power of the Class A car to get past them again? Got the DRS right open. No, he can't. Very interesting. Oh, and Louis Annandale's made a mistake. Unfortunately, run wide, and those three Lotus X's are through. Oh, big spin here as well. So, oh, because had a spin. And where is May? Here comes Mayer. Mayer's not quite close enough to take advantage of that, though. Forward now with Morris Mayer. Not close enough to take advantage of that mistake, unfortunately. Kevin Lawrence asking what the deals with DRS. Well, the deal is that the driver's only meant to use it after lap 3 and when they are 1 second behind the driver in front of them. When they hit the sort of the 2 DRS detection zones. And unfortunately for Robert McCall, he was using DRS basically on any straight that he went on. So that is against the championship rules. Unfortunately, the proper DRS rules are not sort of built into a Assetto Corsa, so we've had to use 2 apps to get it to work properly. But unfortunately, it's still possible to use DRS when you shouldn't be using it, basically. So there's a bit of driver error that can be involved. So Ryan Hill looking a bit quicker this time. Holden-Jones is in the pits already from 10th position. He comes in for an early pit stop. Perhaps trying to get the undercut on his fellow Class B drivers. But suddenly Louis Under's fallen right back to 15th position after an error. Holden-Jones will rejoin around 14th position, I think. Since it's got Barcelona 2, so it's a Class B taking on a Class A for 10th position. And McCall's had a mistake as well. Off he goes. Is he going to retire? Looks like he's taking a lot of time to get going again. Yes, he's escaped to pits. And unfortunately, I think that is Rob McCall retired from this race, unfortunately. So that'll make my DRS penalty calculations not required any longer. So unfortunately, but we hope to see him back for round 3 of the championship at Spa. But his main there lead, and he's had a half spin. Here comes JP Paul. Surely he's going to take the lead. Yes, he is. So we've got two changes in the race lead on one lap. Mayer going to the front for a short time, and then JP Paul just taking advantage of that error by Mayer. Through he goes. Oh, another spin here by Mayer. So I wonder if Mayer's just got the brake bias a bit too much towards the rear. But Mayer falls down to 3rd position now. He's got some work to do now. Well, there's only 5.2 seconds behind second baseman Boyson. But JP Paul now working to open up that advantage to Boyson. He's got 1.2 seconds on him. But I've got a feeling Boyson is just not going to let him get away from him too much. And Boyson will be working towards that to be within 1 second of JP Paul on, when he approaches to the DRS detection zones, to open up his rear flap and close down that red estate to Paul. I'm going to change for 5th position as Avis is past Wenzel. Oh, we got someone in the air there. Who was that? That's White Avis. He slowed down to let the drivers pass, but Hill has gained 2 positions in all of that. So we're going to change to the lead. Boyson is past Paul. That move happening off camera. So much action. I can hardly keep up with what's going on. Forward with Paul now. He's much later in the brakes than Boyson. Paul hitting the rev limiter there, just missing a gear. And these two coming up in a bit of traffic now, and that is in the form of Jason van Jaarsveld. And he'll be receiving blue flags now to let the front runners go by. The 913 car had quite a bit of damage done to it as well in this race. But Boyson under pressure from Paul as Van Jaarsveld gets out of the way. He does very well to do that. And Paul now will be thinking on the way he's going to attack Boyson. I think it might be down this next straight coming up. Got more traffic ahead. That is Edzard van Baarle, another one of the ZWN cars. Of course, CWN is the new team to Sim Race South Africa. 5 cars entered suddenly in the last week or so. And great to see a new team like that join, and we look forward to seeing how they progress throughout the rest of the season. And now we've got Avis and McKay very close together. As Boyson starts opening up the gap at their front at lead up to about just over a second to Paul. This is a 3-way battle for 7th position. Wenzel leading the way. Here comes Avis. He's got a run on him. Starts to opt out of it, approaching Maggots. Beckett's now. This is, oh, big mistake there by Wenzel. What's happened to Wenzel? Yes, he spun out unfortunately. So he loses 2 positions to Avis and McKay. Avis up to 7th. McKay using the DRS now. Not able to close the gap to Avis unfortunately. But his teammate Janu Boyson leading the way at the moment on lap 10 of 54. Oh, we've had a spin here by Paul. Around he goes. Where's Mayer? He's going to take that 2nd position from him. Yes, he does. Swoops around the outside. And Stephen Sparks in the Class B Lotus X is up to 4th position overall. What a drive by Stephen Sparks. And, second in class is Quay Claessens. He's trying to find his way past the Class A car of Ryan Hill. And I think you'll find that Class A just have the legs on him down the straights. Klingen's got Walker. Those teammates swapping positions there for 14th position. And Ryan Hill's still got a very persistent Quay Claessens in the Class B car. They're chasing him down. That gap's still about half a second. So I think Class has made slight contact there for Ryan Hill. I think Hill's also got ping issues. That car moving around in an erratic manner. Let's stay on board with Quay Claessens. It's interesting to see the strengths and weaknesses of the 2 different cars. Claessens much later under braking there. Hill very wide through there as well. See the difference in lines as well. Hill cuts the apex much earlier than Claessens. Claessens using a wider entry here, getting back on the power a bit earlier. Straightening out the car sooner. And the superior power of the Class A car moves away from him. And of course, one big difference between these 2 cars is that the Lotus Exodus, the one we are now, does not have DRS. This Lotus Exodus was never raced properly. It's sort of based on Formula 1 rules, I think from 2009 or 10, but I'm probably mistaken on that, something like that. And basically a car used to give a Formula 1 type experience to yeah, the public, basically. And I've got a feeling this car was featured on Top Gear at one stage. I'm not sure which episode it was now. But yeah, making the ideal Class B car here in the South African simGP series, the Division 2. So just a way of sort of filling up the numbers. As you see, Ryan Hill making an error there, and through goes Quake Claessens to go 5th overall. Still 2nd in class, because Steven Sparks leading that class, and we watch him now. And we've got Wide Avis into the pits as well. Boyson now extending that margin at the front. He's 4.5 seconds ahead of Meyer. And Boyson, not the quickest perhaps, but proving the most consistent. And that's really working out for him now. And he suddenly found himself leading by 4.5 seconds on lap 12 with 54. So Kevin Lawrence saying, nice to see all the new names in racing. Yes, of course. I'm happy to report that I received my 75th sign up for this season. Can you believe it? I'm absolutely ecstatic about that. And it's going to make it for an interesting South African Sim GT Series week next week. To see, I think we're going to have a nice full 3 divisions. And I've got my work cut out for me. But absolutely loving it at the moment. And of course, with support from yourself, Kevin, and many others, it's been an absolute pleasure to build SimRace South Africa and continue developing it as we go. And I think I'm optimistic for an extremely exciting future. So Boyson now is still leading by quite a comfortable margin. Let's go look at the Avis Annandale battle. This is over 12th position, those drivers. Oh, so we say that in Annandale's had a half spin, unfortunately. Tends to happen sometimes when I pan to a driver. Just have a moment. So there's the commentator's curse affecting Louis Annandale for the first time. It won't be the last time either, Louis. But that's how it goes sometimes. Oh, Klangen up the inside. I don't think that move was on, unfortunately, but it's ended in tears. And Walker is not close enough to take advantage of those two coming together. But Annandale will rejoin in 13th position. Oh, who's spun around there? It's Boyson! Our leader has fallen right back. And trying to rejoin the circuit, but that's cost him dearly. I think getting involved in traffic, unfortunately. And down to 3rd position. Unfortunately, I think Boyson is disconnected from the server. That's heartbreaking. So perhaps a lag incident put paid to his lead, and then a disconnect resulting from it. And that's how it goes sometimes. So suddenly Morris May finds himself leading the way by over 7 seconds. And if he can just keep this up towards the end now. But of course we've got the pit stop phases coming up. And that can put all sorts of mayhem into the action as well. Claessen's of course up to 4th position after Boyson's error, or sort of line issue, technical issue of course. And Sparks 3rd overall in Class B. So it's Haven Racing leading the way ahead of Black Widow. And then we've got the independent entry of Stephen Sparks in Class B in 3rd position. Quay Claessen's in the 2nd independent entry, Class B in 4th position. Then Ryan Hill, 5th in Class A. 5th overall, but 3rd in Class A. And of course, don't forget the top 3 from this race in Class A go through to the Division 1 race. Round 3 of the South African simGP series at Spa. So still something to race for this evening. And of course tomorrow evening we've got the last chance qualify for round 2 of our flagship championship, the 2018.2 South African simGP GT series, I beg your pardon. And we've already got 17 qualifiers for that round, and then the top 5 from tomorrow evening's 90-minute hot lap session will join the grid to make up the 22 drivers for that race. On Monday evening, Division 1, and then on Wednesday evening we've got Division 2 and very likely a Division 3 race as well on the same night. So watch Stephen Sparks in for another pit stop. Of course, the Class B cars demand a couple more pit stops than the Class A cars during a race distance. So Claessen's and Sparks are racing for the win of Class B, let's say that. And very close together indeed. Look at that, that's all the gap is. And Holden-Jones too will also probably come in. Let's see, no, he stays out. So can Holden-Jones take the lead of Class B? I think he came in a bit earlier already. And it's going to be close now. Where is the leader? Yes, he joins right behind them. So what a fight we have here in Class B. Wow. And, as my good friend Cat James would say, you could throw a pretty big blanket over those 3. That's how close they are. You see one of the Black Widow cars off there. Who is that? It's not Paul. Is it Klingen? No, it's not Klingen either. Annandale? No. So one of the Black Widow cars going extremely slowly there. And we've got Yede Boyson who's rejoined the server. Great to see. After a technical incident forced him to leave the server. But back to our fight for the Class B lead, and all 3 cars are very close together still. As we go down the Hanger Straight, and if Claessen's is going to have a go at Stephen Sparks, he's going to have to do it the old-fashioned way without using DRS. As the Lotus Exodus doesn't have DRS, so a bit different to the Class A car. Oh, spin here from Sparks. Oh, he's throwing the class lead away. And he'll fall back behind Klaas, and Holden has another spin for him as well. Just trying to get rejoin safely is Steven Sparks. Oh, another spin too. So just needs to be a bit more careful on the throttle. And as well not to collect any other cars while doing that. But that has released the Klaasens to the front of Class B, of course. Let's go back to our overall race leader, Morris Mayer for Haven Racing. Got 12 seconds on Paul. Just puts a lap on the back markers there. Heel into the pits from 4th position, that is. This will be a scheduled stop for him on lap 18, possibly a 2-stopper here for Ryan Hill. He will rejoin in 5th position, 3rd in Class A. So still on course for that Division 1 Round 3 GP Series grid slot. The drivers are racing for this evening. But he's got Peter Wenzel starting to challenge him for that now. But I think Wenzel still needs to do his first pit stop. Vince's got the DRS open. Just got to put that move on Hill really easily. Again, Hill sweep around the outside. No, can't. Oh, spin here for Hill. Oh, there's cold tires perhaps. So Hill will rejoin now in 6th position. Unfortunately for us, the field is pretty spread out for the moment. We've got some line issues, I think, here for Morris Mayer as well. His car moving around side to side. I hope his line hangs on here. It'll be a shame if we lose another leader this evening. JP Paul 12 seconds down, also a former race leader this evening. Our race leader, Morris Mayer, comes in for his first pit stop this evening. He's also battling with ping issues, I think. Let's see what he does now. Oh, is this a penalty for a DRS infringement? No, it's not. He's stopping the car for a pit stop. We can't see him, he's just behind the wall. In comes Paul as well. So the two front runners coming together on the same lap. 2-stopper perhaps for each driver. And Mayer leaves the server now. Leaves the pit lane. Still in the lead of this one. Vensel's got another Class B behind him. Let's go on board with Steven Sparks. We go on the way towards Brooklyn's corner. Under the bridge we are. Brooklyn's a tricky left hand to get right. A lot of drivers pick different lines through here and then set themselves up for this corner. Some use a wide entry, some cut the apex a bit earlier. And then we down this straight towards Cops corner, turn 9. Flick to the right, get back on the power as soon as possible, use the aero of the car, let it run wide, use a bit of the curb if possible. And then on the run towards turn 10, Maggots. And then Beckett's. And then Chapel corner, very important to get a good drive onto this back straight. Sparks does a bit better job there than Ryan Hill, but Ryan Hill uses the superior power of the Class A to get away down hanger straight. And on the run towards Stoke corner, turn 15, also right-hander. Into the corner a bit later than what you would others. And then short straight towards Vale. This is Club corner, and then the final, the second Club corner, or the final corner, turn 18, onto the main straight to start yet another lap, in this case 21 R54. Morris may open up the gap to 10.5 seconds ahead of Paul. Big moment there for Ryan Hill, hangs on to it in front of us. We've got a spin in front of us. It's one of the CWN M cars. It's Peter Wenzel in 6th position, so this is actually for position. And Wenzel challenging Hill for 5th after an error, let Hill past. And that Class B car of Steven Sparks getting involved in this Class A battle. And of course, Hill will want Sparks to off-put Wenzel so he can get away. Wenzel using the DRS. Benzel using the DRS again. Not quite close enough to heal, unfortunately. Let's go on board with Steven Sparks. Great racing here. And this is what we want to see. See Steven Sparks is able to get on the power a lot earlier than Hill and Benzel ahead of him. Oh, big moment here for Steven Sparks. He hangs onto it somehow. I think Peter Benzel ahead of him did a very similar thing. But Hill scampers away there in 5th position. He's got 1.2 seconds. Oh, another spin here from Sparks. That puts paid to his challenge. So it is Claessen's now overall in 2nd position, leading Class B as well. Puts a lap on Chad Cook. Claessen's now, he could possibly win this race, but I think the Class B car needs sort of another 2 more pit stops when compared to the Class A car of overall leader Morris Mayer. But certainly Quay Claessen's our Division 1 driver from Monday evening, certainly wringing the neck of this Class B car to get it right up there. Oh, mistake here from Benzel. I think that's Benzel. That's Jason van Jaar's fault, I beg your pardon. Only 15th position, goes a lap down to Claessen's as well. Suddenly Morris Mayer has lost 3 seconds, he's fallen back towards Claessen's. Claessen's really is on a charge in that Class B Lotus Exus. Really clicking with the car now, it seems. Morris Mayer looking very strong as we approach the halfway mark of this race. 6.8 seconds on Claessens, and Claessens is in Class B as well. So he's got a good, 14 seconds on nearest Class A challenger, Paul. And the next Class A challenger after that is Ryan here on 5th position, quite a fair way back. So May just needs to keep it on the black stuff now, and just beware of using DRS when he's only allowed to, and the victory will be his. Let's see who will do a pit stop at the halfway stage of this race. Had a couple of drivers already do their pit stop. So, oh, is May coming in now? No, he's not. Of course, May has already done his first pit stop, so theoretically he could go to the end if he's fueled up to do so, and manage the tyres to the end as well. Of course, if you're watching this for the first time and you're thinking, wow, wouldn't mind getting involved in this, well, you're very welcome to join us. You can visit our website at simracesa.co.za. Click on the esports leagues tab there that we got there, and that will take you to an introduction to each championship you're running this season. And there you also find a sign-up form to fill out and submit. That will come through to me via email, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible with what else you need to do to join the season. And if you're very, very quick, you could be doing the last chance qualify tomorrow evening to get into Division 1 on Monday evening. And we'll take the top 5 fastest drivers from the 90-minute hot lap qualifying session tomorrow evening and put them together with the 17 drivers who have already qualified for Division 1. And then if you're not in the top 5, you can always race in Division 2 or 3 on Wednesday evening. And you could be our 76th sign-up this season. So, oh, here's a half spin by race leader Morris Mayer. Oh, he's going to lose the lead to Quake Claessens in the Class B car. I can't believe it. I was pretty sure I slowed this car down enough for this not to happen, but Quake Claessens got other ideas. And he's going on for the overall victory. And pretty sure that engine restrictor plate has actually fallen off the car. But let's see what happens as we go. Emil asking if LTE will work for sim racing. In fact, we've got some sim racers at Sim Race South Africa that use LTE instead of the ADSL lines because they're more reliable and quicker. So yes, I think you should try it out and see how we go. But yeah, it has become a thing. There was a time we wouldn't allow wireless connected Sim Race South Africa, but LTE does seem good enough to do the job, as long as there's a good enough signal and the speed is there. Then yeah, it should be fine, Emil. But can you believe it? We've got a Class B car leading this race overall. So Quake Claessen's having a fantastic race this evening, better than what he had on Monday evening. And here, as Reynard Gerber says in the YouTube live chat, Quaid being very consistent, yes, and I think that's what's put him at the front. The car is nowhere near as quick as the Formula 2 car, looking at about a 45-second difference per lap. But Claessen's definitely clicking with the Lotus Exodus. We see Becerra into the pits now for CWM Racing. Emil, no, not to worry, you can ask as many questions as you like. Sorry for all the questions, but is there similar online racing in SA on PS4? We unfortunately do not cater for PS4. We tried to sort of get a league going, but our demand is very... Oh, and we've got May with another spin now, and so May's tyres are shot, I think. Perhaps using the wrong tyre for this part of the strategy, unfortunately. But yeah, unfortunately, no, we do not cater for PS4 at the moment, unfortunately. As I said, we did try and get a league going, but very much demand we've seen is for a PC league, and that's where we will focus now and for the immediate future. But I'm hoping for cross-platform to start happening in the next couple of years. That would be pretty exciting. But I think for that to happen, I think the consoles need to be a lot more powerful than what they are now. Quay Claesen in for a pit stop, and this might put paid to his challenge for the lead. Yes, I think by my calculations the Lotus Exodus needs to beat, I think, do another 2 pit stops than what the Formula 2 car needs to do to get to the front. So this should see Mayer back to the overall lead. We've got a fight yet again for 4th position between Hill and the pesky Class B car, this time of Peter Gelnes. Gelnes 2nd in Class B, 5th overall. And of course, I also wanted to mention we've got a pre-season race for the Virtual Le Mans series on Saturday afternoon, and that race starting at, I think it is 5:30, and our team, our RSA Protea Sim Sports team, taking on the international competition, especially we've joined or entered the Virtual Endurance Championship and the Virtual Le Mans series hosted by Sim Racing Club. And the first race of our new endurance racing season is at Silverstone, the pre-season race for the Virtual Le Mans series, and on Saturday evening will be Chris Heineke, who will be driving in the RSA Protea SimSport, the number 170 Porsche 911 RSR in the GTE class. And it's a 45, so it's more like an exhibition race just to get this season underway. And I've also been invited to do an interview during the live commentary. So I look forward to that on Saturday afternoon from 5:30, and everybody's very welcome to. In fact, I think the final practice session starts at 3 o'clock, and that's where the commentary will start as well. And everybody's welcome to tune in, and that'll be on the simracing.club YouTube channel on Saturday afternoon. And we look forward to getting that season underway. And in fact, our Virtual Endurance Championship, the official R Factor 2 league, our team RSA Protea Sim Sports has managed to be included in the Division 2 division, and of 4, so we're very proud of that, and apparently knocking on the door of getting to Division 1, so Got 145 teams in that championship, over 500 drivers, with the likes of Rudy van Buren, who won World's Fastest Game, and of course is working for McLaren Formula 1 team. So that's the type of caliber of sim racer we're going up against, and we'll be keeping track of the Protea team as we progress through that championship. But anyway, Ryan Hill currently 4th position, and he's under pressure for Holden-Jones again. And Vance on 6th position is quite a way back. But yeah, this field pretty spread out. But let's go on board with Holden-Jones once again. I find it pretty interesting to watch the latest Exodus chase down the Formula 2 car. And Holden-Jones has got a ZDF car behind him. There's John McCain, 10th position, in fact a lap down on him. Gill's pulled up quite a big gap at the moment. Big clock up there. Holden-Jones. Oh, mistake there by Hill. It's run wide. Here comes Holden-Jones. Here comes John McKay behind us. The DRS haven't decided against any move here through Stowe. Change in the overall lead, Mayer back to the front end of Claessens, 3.8 seconds separating them. Yeah, Kevin, it'll be great to have you back racing with us, and also Rian van Staden also looking to join. Very welcome to do that. Of course, we eagerly await the release, early release of Assetto Corsa Competizione next month. We're looking forward to seeing how that measured up against Assetto Corsa, and we'll see if we can use ACC from 2019.1, and hopefully we'll be able to. I'm not sure if we will fully move away from Assetto Corsa entirely. I think Assetto Corsa still got a lot to offer. And of course it also depends on how far developed ACC is by sort of February next year. but perhaps only be fully matured by come June 2019, and then ready for our 2019.2 season. But of course it's only GT3 cars as far as we know. Oh, we've got someone off there. Who is that? Is it Klingon? I think Klingon's had to escape to pits after an error. Looks like you're stuck on a barrier. And he gets going again. He will sort of join quite a far way down and get a penalty as well for escaping to pits. And Mayer now under pressure from Claessens again. It's Class A versus Class B. Mayer racing for Class A pride. And Quay Claessens would like to get the overall victory in a Class B car. But quite a lot of traffic here for Mayer as well. He's approaching. Oh, we've got another car off there. The two CWM cars. Oh, Claessen's going to run on Mayer. This is for the overall lead. He's gone board with Claessen's. Oh, very conservative there through turn 1. Oh, we had a spin here. Oh, and that's affected the race lead, unfortunately, as Mayer slips past. Mayer getting caught up in the back marker action. And Mayer's got the DRS open. He's not close enough to Claessen's though. Now, what can Mayer do about Claessen's? Oh, and Morris Mayer's outbraked himself, and that's allowing Claessen's to get away. Mayer's so careful on the throttle. These cars are brutal to drive. No ABS, no traction control. This Quay Claessen's leading the race once again. He's got 19 laps remaining, but he needs to open up that gap a bit more than that. He's about what 40 odd seconds to do another pit stop before race end. And it's got quite a small fuel tank in the Lotus Exos when compared to the Formula 2 car. Here into the pits from 4th position. He gets going once again. Okay, he's got Bessenard for 8th position. I think Bessenard's going off at Chapel. Avis through as well. So So there's a three-way battle for 8th position now. McKay running away with it for the moment. Senna's gone past Avis for 9th position. Like a mistake there by Avis. Let's keep an eye on this battle for now. Oh, these two come together. Wow. So I think it was first Bassano just got it wrong, and then Avis had nowhere to go really as they try and dig themselves out of the sand trap at club corner. And looks like the one's towing the other one, but anyway, they both get big mistake. A lot of too much power there by Avis. And Avis will rejoin in 10th position. Bassano's got away a bit better, unfortunately for him. Yeah, Mio, just be a bit careful with the G29. I think the G29 is for PlayStation 4, I think it is, and the G920 is for Xbox and PC, is how I understand it to be. So, but yeah, it could work for the PC as well, I'm not quite sure. If I'm not mistaken, I think Ryan Hill has a G29 that works with the PC, so I could be completely wrong, of course. Rob McCall reporting that his is a G29 and works with PS3 and PS4 and works on PC. So there we go. We got third place man JP Paul now in pitting from third position. Looks like a genuine stop now for him. What can Ryan Hill do now? Can he take that third away from JP Paul? I think the other advantage of the G29 over the G920 is that the G29 has more buttons, if I stand correctly. He'll not close enough to challenge Paul yet, but that gap has come right down to what, 13 seconds. Avis into the pits from 10th. May into the pits now from second. And of course, May coming in now. This gives Claessens a shot at the overall victory in a Class B car. Can you believe it? And I think I'll be decreasing the size of the restrictor, or increasing the size of the restrictor plate for their Class B car. So Quake Claessens proving to me that it's not slow enough. Fair enough, otherwise the restrictor plate's fallen off the car somewhat. Question is now, does Quake Claessens need to do another pit stop before the end? I've got a feeling he does need to. And that 42 seconds to May, is it enough? I think it might just be possibly. Let's watch Quake Claessens as he starts lap 43 of 54. So we've got our overall race leader Quake Claessens pitting. Oh, it's a quick stop that is. I think he's got enough on there to come out maintaining the lead. And he easily does it with 10 laps remaining. Yes, you're just asking if what lap did Claessens pits and will his tyres hold? So I think yes, his tyres will hold. He pitted just 2 laps ago, but I don't think he did actually take tyres then because it was just too fast for me, and I think he just did a splash and dash to get enough fuel into the car. And that gap came down from about 45 seconds to 20. Classes coming under some pressure from one of the Class A cars. In fact, Peter Wenzel in 6th position, lap down on Claessens. So Chris Hanek asking, am I correct in seeing Claessens leading in a Group E car? Yes, you are correct. Chris, Claessens is ahead. And what a drive he has had. And it's just basically due to consistency, I think. And, the other drivers around him faltering, making errors. Claessens has been pretty bulletproof this evening. And suddenly finds himself with a 20-second lead ahead of second baseman Mayer with 8 laps remaining. Cook has got Basen right now, and that bit of dust that we see there I think indicates to me that one of the drivers has gone off. Who is that? I think Carl Basen has got something to do with that bent rear wing. That car's not going to handle too nicely through Stoke Corner, that's for sure. And we might see Basen come in to fix that. So it just has to stay out and try and get towards the end, I think. Just 7 laps remaining. If the car's stable enough, I think he can do it. Make no mistake, Quay Claessens has driven fantastically well this tonight, but I think that car perhaps has a bit better aerodynamics, especially through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. But a lot less straight line performance when compared to the Formula 2 car, that's for sure. Claessens has made it work for him and obviously clicked with the car. Claessens is navigating his corners with so much more confidence when compared to the Class A cars. Cook winning his battle with Avis for 9th position as Avis comes into his pit stop. And Avis rejoins 10 seconds behind Cook, and now also behind Boyson as well, because Boyson recovering from the back after a disconnect from the server, so he's done very well as Yano to make the top 10 for now. But for now it is Mayer, Paul and Hill who will go through down to Division 1, Round 3, South African simGP. And that's because Craig Clarkson is in fact in a Class B car and actually racing Division 1 simGP on Monday evening already. Clarkson's actually extended the gap by 7 seconds since he did that pit stop. So Clarkson's well on his way to victory here at Silverstone overall and Class B. But Mayer on way to take the victory for Class A. 21 seconds on Paul and another 46 seconds on Hill. Oh, a spin here for Hill. He goes around. He's now beyond pressure from Holden-Jones as well. Here comes Peter Holden-Jones. Still rejoins. Wow, that was close. And one of the other cars getting in the way of Hill, unfortunately. So poor placement there by that back marker, unfortunately. It's off-put Hill, and Hill goes around. And, that was one of the CWM cars. But Hill's still in 3rd position for Class A. Hill's not lost yet. Wenzel and Sparks close together. Massive slide here by Wenzel. Around he goes, avoids the wall. How did he do that? But he'll lose the position to Sparks, and McKay is not close enough to take advantage of that mistake. But yeah, perhaps some fatigue setting in now. We'll be going for almost an hour and a half. So we've just got 3 laps remaining. Cook and Avis together again, fighting over that top 10 results. Avis should get DRS now and put the move on Cook before Stowe. Here he comes. He actually does not use DRS actually, and just does it the old-fashioned way. Great stuff there by White, up into 10th. 6 seconds now behind Boyson. Back with the overall leader, Quake Claessens. 30 seconds ahead of Mayer. And Claessen's about to put a lap on Peter Geldernes. Geldernes is 4th overall, so it just goes to show how quick Claessens has been this evening. And it's about to put a lap on as yeah, 4th place man Geldernes overall, 2nd in class is Geldernes. So Claessen's in a dominant fashion this evening. Claessen started the penultimate lap this evening. From the asphalt into the pits from 16th. Claessen now started the final lap of the second round of the South African simGP series for the 2018.2 season, and it's all his to take now. 36 seconds ahead of second place man Marius Meyer in the class first of the class A's. And yes, it's a bit backwards this evening. Class B looks like it's going to win the race. That Lotus Exodus suiting Quake Claessens. Down towards Stoke Corner for the very last time as Claessen's trying to put a lap on Peter Geldernes. And 4th place man is Geldernes. Goes to show how dominant Claessens is. And down to Vale goes Claessens. Quake Larsens will take victories here at Silverstone in a Class B car, would you believe? Congratulations to him. Maurice Mayer is going through Beckett's now. And he will take the victory in Class A and the first of the qualifying slots for Division 1 Round 3 South African simGP at Spa. All he needs to do now is get a lap time within 105% of the fastest driver in Division 1 to finally qualify for Division 1, which should be easily achievable for him. Second place to Maurice Mayer, congratulations to him. And JP Paul, 16 seconds down the road, will complete the podium for this race. Second in class. Peter Kallnes in 4th position, and Hill will get their final Division 1 slot. And that concludes the Division 2 race of Division 2 for the 2018.2 South African simGP series. From me, Jason Holden-Jones, thank you very much for joining me live here on YouTube. And until the Division 1 South African simGP series race at Mugello, all the best until then. Goodbye.